Hi, this is Paul Hoppy, and we're wrapping up GiantBuddha's grab bag giveaway Grindathon. Today was day 28, and I have played 207.5 hours, according to Hold Manager, over the past 28 days, and 80,022 hands. So I just cleared 80,000 at about 5:23 in the morning. Okay, not about, exactly 5:23 in the morning. And decided that that was good enough. That was what my goal was, my minimum. So you know, I could have tried to grind out some more hands. I'm sure I could have, but the past 3 days I've been pretty much just running on empty, running on fumes. So you know, getting in the 12 or 13,000 hands over the past 3 days, as it is, I felt was pretty good. So yeah, I feel happy with the volume I put in. I think I picked very good target numbers. They were a stretch. It was certainly pushing myself. I played 50 hours each of the first 3 weeks, and then a little more than 50, about 57 this week. So that was that's the most I've ever played of online poker. And I do feel like I've gotten better at grinding, at multi-tabling, and at thinking creatively while multi-tabling. So I certainly feel like I've improved at poker, and more so at putting the volume in. My actual game didn't develop as much as I would have liked. The first week I was very enthusiastic about really working on my game, but as time wore on, I ended up just focusing more on the grind. A lot of it had to do with not feeling as great physically, probably partially just from sitting around so much, partially you know, some of it's mental, not really having a lot of other stuff going on. I do think balance is pretty important, or not pretty important. I think it's critical to having a happy life. You know, I mean, this was yeah, so my vocabulary is gone. But anyway, wow. Oh, that's really bad. Anyway, I wasn't allowing myself to really do very many things at all. I played a little guitar, did a little bit of running, and watched some TV and movies on my computer, basically. So I was pretty much in front of my computer the whole time. So yeah, you know, I don't think that's great. It's not that healthy. And I was trying to have a pretty good diet, but when you have a lot of delicious baked goods around, and you don't have a lot of other things to really enjoy, it's a little bit harder. So I think I'm certainly not in as good a shape as I was entering the Grindathon. So I'll work on that in the next month or 6 months. So I'll get right back to that tomorrow, actually. But you know, that kind of affects the overall mood. The second week was a little tougher than the first week, and the third week was really rough. This week I did feel it was a little easier, although the last 3 days, not taking any days off, was really difficult. And by days off, I mean half days. Out of everything over these 28 days, I'd say the 3 hardest things were, number one, having no rest. You know, I mean, I was spending at least 4 hours a day playing poker, but even on those 4-hour days, I was spending a couple hours making these videos, making my hand of the day videos for Drag the Bar, and posting in the forums, browsing forums, studying poker. So I never really got a whole lot of rest from poker, and then, you know, so it was just having every day, you know, 28 days in a row, working hard on it is, it's not a lot of rest. Then on top of that, my sleep sort of deteriorated, and I mean, deteriorated is kind of being generous. I've never really been a great sleeper, so I'm thinking of experimenting with Da Vinci sleep, but that's, you know, just a little bit out there. So maybe we'll try that, but for the most part, you know, I could use a good night's sleep, and that makes everything easier. So yeah, number one was just not having any rest. Number two was doing all these other things, like having the, you know, doing the video blogs and doing the hands of the day. That did help me learn, actually. I wasn't doing as much with my session reviews as I would have liked, but since I was reviewing one hand in depth and having to hopefully coherently explain my thought process, that really helped. I mean, it forced me to think critically about my game and about plays I'd made during the day. So, you know, it kept me honest as far as looking at my game. And I don't even remember what the third thing was. That's how I guess out of it I am, kind of. It's just this many hands of poker, just kind of the whole front of the brain just kind of feels like mushy. So I guess those were the two main things. Who knows what the other one was? Maybe I'll write it somewhere. Apparently it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah, and then I guess also stepping up the volume and playing more tables was difficult. But yeah, so that's that. Today I played a little over 10 hours, maybe 10 and a half or 11. I played, well, I guess I needed about 4,500 hands, so I played almost exactly 4,500 hands today, which is a good day. And this week, 57 hours and I think 25,000 hands, give or take, which is a lot of hands. That's more than I averaged. I mean, I think I played 25,000 hands like 1 month last year, and less than that every other month. So that's, you know, to cram that all into 1 week is kind of difficult. Although a few years ago I did play 20,000 hands in 1 day, but that was different. I was short stacking. Actually, the third thing maybe that made it difficult was playing so much looser. You know, I was really working on opening up pre-flop and working on changing my post-flop game, so I had unautomated all these decisions and I had to re-automate them, and that ends up taking a lot more mental energy. So that's a little bit difficult, and you know, it kind of weighs you down. I'm playing about 5% more hands than I usually do. So, and that's not 5%, that's compared to 30%, so 5% more than 30% is really more like a 17% increase. So if you added 17% to my 80,000 hands, you'd come up closer to 100,000 hands. So in terms of how many flops I was seeing, it was kind of almost like a tighter player playing about 100,000 hands, which is a lot of hands in a month. Anyway, yeah, just to wrap it up, I'd like to thank, first of all, everybody who donated. I'll be contacting all of you. That I raised about $2,400, which is, you know, it's not as much as I was hoping for, but it's, you know, it's significant. It's a significant amount of money, and you know, I really appreciate people, you know, taking some money out of their budgets, which I know, you know, the economy's not great right now. It's not that easy for people to have a lot of extra money lying around. So, you know, it gave me something to fight for, and I'm glad that I was able to make it through it. And I'm sure that people who will be receiving those donations will be quite appreciative. And yeah, I mean, the whole 2+2 thread lockdown was not very beneficial to the publicity angle, but you know, I also just want to thank everybody who's replied in any of the threads or to any of my videos, and just people who've watched it. It makes me feel like, you know, I'm doing it for a reason. So I don't know if I'll do another one of these again. If I do, it won't be for 28 days, and I don't think I'll lock myself up. It'll probably just be straight volume, but you know, we'll see. So I'm trying to think, is that everything? Yeah, I guess I could talk about results. You know, my results weren't awesome, but I ran over 1 bet per 100 over this time period, and considering that I was pushing myself so hard, I feel good about that. I'm like a little bit disappointed that I wasn't crushing it or anything, but playing 80,000 hands in 28 days and still being able to post a respectable win rate without really being able to exercise very much game selection at all, I guess is something I should feel good about. So I do. And I'll be donating a portion of what I earned over this time period to, I guess, to each of the causes. I'll probably spread it out like that. So anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Maybe I'll have some other things in the future.